Chapter 81 Damn, it's going to break, let go. Please subscribe, please vote. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lon Luoluo suddenly smiled, then took a long step and sat directly on Han Yu's waist, staring at him closely with his big eyes. Do you think I will believe it? Luoluo, this is a complete accident. I'm just trying to help you cool down, Han Yu hurriedly explained. The pressure coming from his lower abdomen made him breathe a little heavier. I don't care. You've seen everything anyway. Don't deny it. It's in the water. Lon Luoluo held Han Yu's chest with both hands and exerted slight pressure. Han Yu nodded helplessly. Although the two of them were unconscious, they must have memories of what happened. That's right, since you admit it, we will be yours from now on. If you don't agree, we will leave the sect now and find an isolated place to spend our lives, woo-woo. Sister, we are pitiful. Lon Luoluo covered his eyes with his hands and pretended to sob, watching Han Yu speechless. Why don't you pretend to be a little bit more like you? It's so fake. Okay, Luoluo, we have only been in contact for a long time, and we have no basis for any relationship. It is not appropriate to say this now. If I promise you, you will not win my heart. What do we need your heart for? All we need is you. Han Yu put her hand on her forehead and looked at the girl riding on her. Do you understand what I mean? I don't have that idea right now. Hiss, what are you doing? Let go. Han Yu grinned and quickly grabbed the evil hand. You've stopped asking yourself, haven't you? After Lon Luoluo finished speaking, he shook his hand, apparently grabbing someone's handle. Then do you want Seeing that Han Yu wanted to deny it, Lon Luoluo exerted a little force. Yes, let go first. If it breaks, it will be over. You don't want to do it again. Humph. You know what's going on. Lon Luoluo exerted a little force on his calves and stood up directly from Han Yu. How disgusting, you evil blue-haired girl. Han Yu glared at Lon Luoluo fiercely and breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, nothing happened to his second brother. This little girl doesn't do anything lightly or harshly. Hee, Han Yu, you have to remember what you said. By the way, I'll give you a stamp first. Bah. Sister, let's go first. They separated at the first touch, feeling the warmth left on his lips. Han Yu was speechless. Looking at the two people's leaving figures, he shook his head and laughed. What a big deal, forget it, practice, I have to go to the far north tomorrow. Sister, how are you? Lon Luoluo, who was walking on the road, looked excited at this time, like a child who got a fun toy. Sister, isn't it good for you to force Han Yu like this? He is right. We have no emotional basis at all. This is not the way to go. Lon Luoluo looked confident and said, Don't worry, sister, don't look at Han Yu's seriousness, actually. Lon Luoluo smiled as she didn't know what she was thinking of. And he's really handsome, especially when he opens his Sharingan. Lon Luoluo held his chin with his hands, his eyes filled with little stars. Besides, it's nothing if you don't have an emotional foundation. You can cultivate it slowly in the future. Let's take a good position first. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Facing a genius as talented as Han Yu, it is wise to strike early. Don't wait for Han Yu to take the initiative to pursue girls. Someone like him will definitely not do such a thing. Besides, we are twins. I believe Han Yu will eventually fall in love. If you don't believe it, let's wait and see. Lon Luoluo blinked, his eyes full of smiles. Lon Susu said helplessly, I don't know what my mother taught you. You are more suitable to be a sister than me. Time soon came to the next day. At this time, the sky just turned a touch of fish belly white. Han Yu arrived at the Numenon sect's main hall early. Poisonous Death and Golden Body Douluo were also present. Han Yu, let's set off now. This time we need to go deep into the far north. You have to follow us closely. Any soul beast that pops up inside is 10,000 years old. Han Yu nodded, I understand, teacher. Dubusho nodded towards Golden Body Douluo, then grabbed Han Yu and flew away in an instant. The far north is located in the north of the Tianhun Empire. It is no longer so mysterious to Han Yu, who has been there several times. After several days of traveling, we finally arrived at the far north, one of the three major soul beast gathering places known as human forbidden areas. The biting cold wind kept howling and the temperature dropped rapidly. Han Yu took out the black fur robe that he had prepared. The black fur robe has a black background with several vivid red clouds embroidered on it. The high collar protects Han Yu's neck, making his body much warmer. From now on, we need to walk and cannot fly in the air. This will easily be discovered by the spirit beasts, which will cause some trouble. Du Busho came down with Han Yu, and the golden body Douluo on the side followed closely behind. This is the far north, it's really cold. The golden body Douluo looked at the endless ice field and said with some emotion. My true body sect spans the great star forest and the demonic forest. Even the sea can come and go freely. However, I am afraid of the far north. Do you know why, Han Yu? That the golden body Douluo smiled and looked at Han Yu, who was wearing a black fur robe with red clouds, and said. Grandpa Jinpeng, it's probably the climate problem in the far north. The temperature here is too low. If our human soul masters fight here, I'm afraid their combat effectiveness will be greatly reduced. Dubusi nodded. Yes, as long as they are still human, they will be affected by the environment, but soul beasts will not. The soul beasts here have adapted to such cold temperatures. Not only will they not be weakened, but they will become stronger. So, we must be careful next time. If it's just one Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion, we are fearless, but if we lure out the other two kings, we will be in trouble. Yeah. Dubusi led Han Yu all the way north, and Jin Shandolua followed closely behind, looking around from time to time, alert to possible soul beasts. The further they went inside, the thicker the snow became, and the cold wind became colder. Soon 2 days passed, and at this time Han Yu and his companions had completely penetrated into the deserted far north. The far north is very large, beyond Han Yu's imagination. Last time, he was only hunting soul beasts on the periphery and didn't feel it. Now that I have gone deeper, I realize that the place I stayed before was just a drop in the ocean for the entire far north. At this moment, a terrifying breath appeared. Dubusi pulled Han Yu to find a shelter quickly, and then restrained his breath. Old Jean, it's the Titan Snow Demon King. The eyes of the golden body Douluo were full of solemnity, and he tried his best to restrain his breath, not letting the soul power fluctuation leak out. Teacher, how is the strength of this Titan Snow Demon King compared to yours? Han Yu asked in a low voice. A hint of pride flashed across Dubusi's face, and he smiled slightly, and also whispered, in terms of single combat, 10 Titan Snow Demon Kings are not my opponent, but it is not appropriate to waste soul power at this time. Let's hide if we can. Han Yu nodded slightly. He didn't know whether Dubusi was bragging or what, but seeing how confident he was, it was obvious that the Titan Snow Demon King was not taken seriously by him. Dong dong, as if the sound of a heavy object falling to the ground sounded, Han Yu turned his head and saw the appearance of the person coming through a crack clearly. Over 100 meters tall, with thick fur covering his entire body, every time he walks, he leaves a deep footprint. It is rumored that this Titan Snow Demon King has the blood of the Ice God, and is extremely powerful. He is the top race among soul beasts, and is a distant relative of the Titan giant ape in the Star Do Great Forest. Dubusi took the opportunity to teach Han Yu about soul beasts. Han Yu's eyes were full of shock. Seeing such a powerful soul beast in person gave him a completely different feeling. Blood of the Ice God. Teacher, I heard that the Snow Emperor, the Ice Emperor, and the Titan Snow Demon King all have the blood of the Ice God, so how did they get their blood? Han Yu looked weird. If the rumor was true, then this Ice God really accepted everything and would eat anything. You asked me how I know where this bloodline came from. Don't talk nonsense about gods. The Titan Snow Demon King has left. Let's leave quickly. We will go directly to the territory of the Ice Jade Scorpion later, and we should be able to find the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion. Dubusi pulled Han Yu out of the bunker and confirmed the direction. Master, we'd better not break into the Ice Jade Scorpion tribe directly. It doesn't matter to us, but Han Yu will be in trouble at that time. Moreover, there are many powerful soul beasts in their tribe, which may cause trouble for us. Golden Body Douluo said hesitantly. Dubu Si laughed. Don't worry, I have a plan to lure out the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion. Let's go first. 2 more days passed, and the three of them had completely arrived at the core area. During this period, they also encountered soul beasts several times. Han Yu took a look from a distance, and the momentum emanating from his body was at least more than 10,000 years, although it can't be compared with the Titan Snow Demon King, it is much stronger than Long Outyan. Old Jean, you stay here to protect Han Yu, I'll go and lure out the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion. Master, be careful. Golden Body Douluo nodded heavily, not daring to be careless at all. You have to know that this is the real core area of the far north. Once you encounter a soul beast, it is at least tens of thousands of years old. Don't worry, they can't hurt me. Dubu Si said a word, and then the whole person was covered by green light, and the whole person ran quickly towards the distance. It's still a distance from the territory of the Ice Jade Scorpion. Let's stay here and wait for the master to come back. Golden Body Douluo smiled at Han Yu, and then soul power filled his palm, and blasted down fiercely. Boom! A big hole with a width of 5 meters and a depth of 10 meters appeared instantly. Golden Body Douluo jumped into it. Han Yu, come down, it's not that cold in here. Han Yu nodded, then jumped and fell into the hole. I don't know if the teacher can succeed. Don't worry, the sect master just caught an ice green scorpion, it's not a difficult task. The ice green scorpion tribe is rare, the sect master only needs to leave a little breath, it will definitely attract the Ice Green Emperor Scorpion to come. The Golden Body Douluo said with a smile, obviously not worried about this matter. By the way, Han Yu boy, are you really sure? This matter sounds so mysterious to me. A trace of doubt flashed in the eyes of the Golden Body Douluo. Han Yu smiled slightly. Don't worry, Grandpa Jinpeng, I won't joke with my life, but I am very afraid of death. Bang! Just as the two were talking, a scorpion covered in emerald green fell from the sky. Master, did you succeed? I just caught one that's about 50,000 years old. I think it should be enough to attract the attention of the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion. Dubu Si fell down and pointed at the Ice Jade Scorpion next to him. The Golden Body Douluo nodded. 50,000 years, this kind of cultivation should be rare in the Ice Jade Scorpion clan. Hearing this, Han Yu carefully looked at the Ice Jade Scorpion in front of him. This scorpion looks very small, just over 1 meter. Be careful, it's coming. Dubu Si's face was solemn, waiting quietly. The originally dark clouds suddenly fluctuated violently, and then, from the distant sky in the north, a layer of emerald green light instantly spread over. The dark sky turned into emerald green in an instant, transparent and attractive emerald green, and the moving color was like the sky high above suddenly turned into a huge emerald green gem. The originally oppressive atmosphere in the air also disappeared in an instant. Human, you dare to capture my people, today none of you will be able to leave the far north alive. Clear voices rang out from all directions. The appearance of this voice was accompanied by a terrifying sound wave, and the snow on the ground rose 3 meters high almost instantly, like a sudden wave. Chapter 77 was reviewed in the last 2 chapters, sorry everyone. Chapter 82, Seal the Ice Emperor. Please subscribe, please vote. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Only the area of 100 meters in diameter around the poisonous immortal body remained calm, protected by the huge soul power emanating from his body. Really? I want to see how you leave me alone. Ling Ran was not afraid of the poison, and 9 soul rings of yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, black, red, red and red rose from his feet one after another. A powerful aura rivaled the emerald green aura. A ray of green light created a horizontal stripe in the sky. It was almost just a flash of green light, and there was a soul beast on the opposite side of poisonous death. Han Yu was also slightly sizing up the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion that appeared. The Ice Emperor was beautiful, even if it was just a soul beast. Han Yu couldn't help but admire it from the bottom of his heart. The Ice King is about 1.5 meters long. There are 4 superimposed layers on the front of its body, each layer is slightly more than half a foot in length. The head is on the frontmost layer, with a silver-white mouth. The device shone with a faint cold light. The front half of these 4 superimposed layers is covered with a layer of raised scales. The whole body is as crystal clear as a gem, especially the last tail, which has 5 sections. Each section is an attractive turquoise color. Seeing the 9 soul rings on the poisonous immortals and the golden body Douluo next to him, the Ice Emperor's yellow pupils shrank slightly. She sensed danger from the 2 of them, and when she saw the unconscious Ice Jade Scorpion beside her, her tone softened slightly. "Human, return my people to me, and I will let you go, otherwise we will not stop fighting until today." Du Bushi laughed loudly. "I have heard about the names of the 3 great kings of the far north for a long time. It is a blessing to see the Ice Emperor today. I just made that little scorpion unconscious and had no intention of killing it." When the Ice Emperor heard this, he breathed a sigh of relief and said with some doubts, "Then why are you catching it? Is it me that you are targeting?" Du Bushi and Golden Body Douluo looked at each other, and then said bluntly, "Yes, our target is you." The Ice Emperor was immediately furious, and kept waving his 2 1-meter-long front pincers. "Damn humans, the Star Do Forest can't satisfy you anymore, and you actually set your sights on me. Could it be that you want to see my far north? Can't be bullied. The 2 of us are not interested in your soul ring and soul bone. It's just that the younger generation in the family still lacks a suitable soul ring, so." Du Bushu didn't finish his words, but Ice Emperor already understood what he meant. Naturally, she also discovered Han Yu in the pit, and said coldly, "It's not that I look down on him, but just because he rashly absorbs my soul ring, I'm afraid he will burst in an instant. You can be considered a strong human being. You don't even know this." Han Yu jumped out of the pit at this time and said, "Bing Emperor, we don't want to kill you, but we want to cooperate with you." "Cooperate?" The Ice Emperor sneered, "You are humans and I am a soul beast. Is there anything we can cooperate with?" Han Yu smiled slightly, "Ice Emperor, I know your end is coming soon. With your current strength, I'm afraid it will be difficult for you to survive this catastrophe." Ice Emperor's petite body trembled and he spat out, "How do you know? My teacher is a strong person among humans. Is it not surprising to know this?" Han Yu winked at Du Busho. Du Bushi nodded knowingly. Although he didn't know how Han Yu learned about it, this was not the time to talk about this. "That's right. You soul beasts need to survive a disaster every 100,000 years to cultivate. I can naturally see that." Du Busui said calmly with his hands behind his back. The Ice Emperor glanced at Du Bushu with some fear. This human being had a very strong aura. "Even so, is it possible that you can still help me overcome the disaster?" The Ice Emperor snorted disdainfully. "Exactly," Han Yu said loudly. Ice Emperor was stunned for a moment, then sneered, "Just you?" "Just me." Han Yu opened his Sharingan and stared at the Ice Emperor closely. It would be best if he could convince the Ice Emperor. This is the far north after all. I have a pupil technique that can seal you into my body with soul power. After you are sealed, you will not be sensed by the tribulation. You can practice normally, and I can also borrow your power. While being sealed, you will also give me a soul ring. We each get what we need. At the same time, you can also appear in the outside world on weekdays. The only restriction is that you cannot be too far away from me. How about it? Think about it, Ice King." Hearing this, Ice Emperor's yellow eyes flashed with a hint of thought. "Do you think I will believe it? You humans are notoriously cunning. You can't treat me like one of those 1,000-year-old soul beasts." Han Yu sighed in his heart. It seemed like there was still going to be a fight. "Teacher, Grandpa Jinpeng, please excuse me." Han Yu bowed and then quickly ran towards the distance. Du Busho nodded. "In that case, let's have a fight. The conditions for sealing are voluntary or incapable of resistance. Since the first one doesn't work, the second one can only be implemented. Lao Jin, you are optimistic about Han Yu. After Du Bushi finished speaking, a strong dark green light suddenly rose into the sky, dyeing half of the sky dark green. The body's body surged instantly, enlarging it more than 10 times in the blink of an eye. The dark green skin bulged and turned into huge muscles like granite. Only a pair of shorts on the lower body protected the vital parts. Of course, those shorts were obviously specially made. Otherwise they would be burst by his huge body. Humph, I really don't think I am afraid of you. This is the far north. Ice Emperor snorted coldly, and a strong emerald green light burst out from her body. A strong breath suddenly burst out. The emerald green light like a gem also supported a piece of sky above. The emerald green and dark green like gems were clearly distinguished in the sky. At this moment, a deafening roar suddenly exploded on the snow, and Du Bushi and Ice Emperor had already started fighting. Within a radius of 100 miles, the entire sky changed color because of their fight. One side was emerald green like a gem, and the other side was domineering dark green. Each occupied one side of the sky, and the position where the two colors intersected was accompanied by the battle between Du Bushi and Ice Emperor. On the snow, Ice Emperor was extremely fast, waving a 1-meter-long front claw and rushing forward. The emerald green light behind him was like a huge wave and blasted towards Du Bushi. The dark green giant transformed by Du Bushi ran in big strides and met him without flinching. With a loud bang, the two collided. The soul beasts not far away fled in all directions, not daring to stay where they were. Is this the strength of a super Douluo? Han Yu watched the two fighting with his amazing eyesight. The dark green light behind Du Bushi suddenly formed large vortexes. The front claws of the Ice Emperor shone brightly at this time, and diamond-like particles covered them, the Ice Emperor's claws. The front claws fell towards Du Bushi with a sharp and unmatched momentum. Bang! Du Bushi crossed his hands, and the dark green light instantly covered his hands, obviously increasing his defense. Ice Emperor, you are very powerful, but you can't do anything to me. Du Bushi roared, and the whole person suddenly shrank, but his aura did not decrease at all. Humph! The wrath of the Ice Emperor. The Ice Emperor snorted coldly, and then the emerald green light mixed with white light appeared instantly, and an extremely terrifying coldness hit Du Bushi. Ultimate Ice. Suck it up. Du Bushi waved his hand slightly, and circles of green vortexes appeared. The ultimate ice was constantly sucked into the vortexes. Old Jean, let's go together, awaken directly, and quickly resolve the battle. Du Bushi roared. Although the Ice Emperor was inferior to him in strength, it was only a little bit, and it was very difficult to deal with under the blessing of the far north. In order not to waste time, Du Bushi decided to siege. Another reason was to be afraid of accidents. This was the base camp of soul beasts. If other fierce beasts were attracted, it would be troublesome. Yes, Sect Master. Main Body Secret Method X2. Golden Body Douluo shouted, and 9 soul rings rose from under his feet. Then, like a meteor chasing the moon, he and Du Bushi joined forces to attack the Ice Emperor. 2 light shadows instantly appeared behind Du Bushi and Jin Peng. Jin Peng's was golden, and behind him was a torso skeleton. The one who killed Du Bushi was a green figure, who looked exactly like him, and the color behind him was also golden. After performing the secret method, the aura of the two people suddenly surged. Despicable human. Bingdi waved his front mastiff angrily, and just after blocking Du Bushi's attack, he was hit by the golden body Douluo. Under the joint efforts of the two, Bingdi had only the power to parry. As time went by, Bingdi gradually couldn't hold on. Bang bang bang. Large flakes of snow fluttered, and a green scorpion fell on the snow, and its breath was very weak. Damn human. The far north will not let you go. Bingdi lay on the snow, looking at Du Bushi and the two people coming towards him, cursing non-stop. Damn, I don't know where Xue'er went. Why can't I contact her? Bingdi was extremely anxious at this time. He had contacted Xue'er when they fought, but he didn't know why he couldn't contact her. I don't know whether you will let me go or not, but you should worry about yourself now. I have already said that we have no ill will towards you. Why do you have to force me to take action? Du Bushi waved at Han Yu. I have sealed her soul power. She has no ability to resist now. You can use your pupil technique now. If you can't hold on, you must call me in time. Dubu Si looked at Han Yu with a serious face. Although he knew that he would not joke about his life, he still couldn't help but remind him. Han Yu nodded, took a deep look at Bingdi who was weak beside him, his clenched fist trembled slightly, and his voice was firm and full of power. Bingdi, you will know that what I said is true later. As the words fell, Han Yu took a deep breath, gathered the strength in his chest, and then swung his arm violently. 8 trigram seal. In a short and powerful low shout, Han Yu's eyes suddenly flashed, and his Sharingan rotated rapidly. His figure seemed to be pulled by an invisible force and tilted forward slightly. He quickly made complex gestures, and seemed to draw talismans in the air. Each movement cut through the air and emitted a faint whistling sound. Continuous white light burst out from his fingertips, rapidly rotating around Bingdi, forming complex halos. Bingdi's body began to move closer to Han Yu involuntarily, attracted by the white light like a magnet. As the last gesture was completed, Han Yu shouted, and the white light suddenly intensified, like a giant dragon, pulling Bingdi's body into Han Yu's body. Han Yu's body shook, and the strong vibration almost made him fall, but he steadied his body and his eyes were firm. Then, he looked down at his belly button, where a clear Bagua pattern instantly appeared, glowing faintly. Seal completed. Tick-tock. Tick-tock. The sound of water drops resounded in Han Yu's spiritual sea of consciousness, and an emerald green scorpion quietly appeared. Another guest has arrived, and it's going to be lively now. An old voice sounded, and then appeared in front of the Ice Emperor. Where are you? Who are you? Electrolux stroked his non-existent beard and said with a smile, Little Scorpion, don't worry, old man Electrolux, it seems that Han Yu's little guy should have succeeded. The Ice Emperor stared blankly at Electrolux. The old man in front of him seemed real and imaginary. What state are you in, and why am I here? Where is that hateful human being? At this time, the Ice King found that his injuries had completely recovered, and he couldn't help but be surprised. Let boy Han Yu tell you. Electrolux turned to look at the cold rain that had just appeared. Damn humans, go to hell. As soon as Han Yu appeared, a pair of crystal-like front mastiffs attacked him. Don't do anything. If you have something to say it properly. Even if you kill me, you won't survive. Han Yu ducked sideways, and in his own sea of consciousness, everything was under his control. The Ice Emperor's crystal body trembled, and he stopped in place in a daze. What the hell is going on? Han Yu looked at the Ice Emperor who had calmed down and said, You and I have become one. Now you can sense whether the natural disaster no longer exists. You can still practice in my sea of consciousness, and it will not cause catastrophe until you practice for 1,000,000 years. Hearing this, the Ice Emperor sank into her mind and felt it carefully, and couldn't help but feel a little surprised. Just as Han Yu said, she really didn't feel the aura of the heavenly tribulation. It seemed that the human in front of her had not deceived her. Thinking of this, her eyes looking at Han Yu softened a bit. He said in a cold voice, I really cannot feel the existence of the heavenly tribulation. It seems that you have not deceived me, human being. Han Yu nodded and said seriously, Now we are one, so only by uniting can we achieve my ultimate goal. Ice Emperor, I need your power, and you also need my help. I will protect you from the catastrophe. How about you help me improve my strength? I think you feel it too. You can't get out without my permission. The Ice Emperor nodded, a trace of doubt flashing through his yellow eyes. What is your ultimate goal? Become a god. Han Yu glanced at the Ice Emperor who had been convinced by him, and slowly uttered 2 words. Becoming a god. Are you right? Ice Emperor exclaimed, looking at Han Yu as if he was dreaming. Yes, I already have ideas in this regard. As long as I am assisted by the power of the 9 soul beasts, I will not be unable to do this in the future. 9 great soul beasts. Hyoki blinked in confusion. Yes, you are just my first sealed soul beast. I can seal 9 like this. Once they are all gathered, I will definitely gain the power to become a god. Moreover, I have the advantage of not being subject to catastrophe. Once I become a god in the future, you will also be able to live forever with me. Han Yu carefully discussed the blueprint for the future with the Ice Emperor. Chapter 84, Soul Fusion Technique, Shenyuedu. Chapters 77 and 80 are out, you can read them if you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 84 Martial Soul Fusion Technique, God Tsukuyami. Chapter 77 and 80 have been released, if you haven't read it you can read it. As soon as he finished speaking, a burst of emerald green light suddenly poured into Han Yu's body. Han Yu's body trembled slightly, he took a deep breath and began to guide the formation of the soul ring. There was a flash of shock in Du Bushai's eyes. He had never seen such a strange scene before. Following the guidance of Han Yu, a white soul ring gradually formed, and then began to turn towards yellow. Time passes slowly, the color gets darker and darker, soon changing to lavender, purple, deep purple. Call. It seems that the current lifespan of only 8,888 years is not bad. Han Yu showed a smile and then slowly stood up. Although it has not reached the 10,000-year level, it is very close, and the soul skills contained in it seem to be quite powerful. Finished? A look of surprise flashed across Du Bushi's face. It seemed that Han Yu had succeeded. Han Yu nodded. Teacher, it worked. Not only did I obtain the third soul ring, but I also became a partner with the Ice Emperor. TCH, who wants to be your partner? You are a very evil person. You led 2 titled Douluo to surround me. I was forced to surrender to you. The Ice Emperor in the consciousness sea said angrily. Han Yu didn't respond to her. This little loli hasn't changed her mentality yet. She was just taken back, and now she is probably unwilling to accept it. Du Bushi laughed loudly. Okay, it seems that your pupil technique is really extraordinary. From this, it seems that you can do this to obtain soul rings in the future. Golden Body Douluo also had a look of shock on his face. Apparently he had understood the meaning of poison immortality. Starting from Han Yu's third soul ring, every soul ring in the future would be his limit. And it's incredible that he can also gain the power of a soul beast. For others, 100,000-year soul ring is difficult, but for the Numenon sect, it is only a little more difficult than drinking water. As long as they are willing, they will not kill the 100,000-year-old soul beasts whenever they want, just to see if they can absorb them. Han Yu smiled. What they didn't know was that their soul rings could still be improved. Of course, he didn't plan to say it out loud. After all, this thing was too appalling. When your body can withstand a longer period of time, you can make your third soul ring 10,000 years old. It is not impossible that it will become 100,000 years later. Han Yu said, yes, but unfortunately, soul bones cannot be obtained through this method. After all, they are not dead, and they gave me part of their power to form the soul ring. Du Bushi said with an indifferent expression, it's just 100,000-year-old soul bone. When the time comes, I'll take my old brothers for a walk in the sea and we'll have everything. The sect leader is absolutely right. Boy, Han Yu is the future of our sect. His soul bones must be more than 100,000 years old. We want to create an unprecedented monster. Golden Body Douluo also said with a smile on his face. Greedy humans are so despicable. Through Han Yu's perspective, the Ice Emperor obviously had a lot of criticisms towards the Poison Immortal and the Golden Body Douluo. Okay, now that the matter is done, let's go quickly. Du Bushi nodded to the Golden Body Douluo, and then walked towards the outer reaches of the far north with Han Yu. This operation was a perfect success, but I don't know what Huo Yuhao will do next. Without the Ice Emperor, what kind of martial spirit will Tianmeng Binkan find for him? Thinking of this, Han Yu felt a little curious. This time, not only did he obtain the third soul ring, he also broke through to the Soul Master, and his soul power directly reached the 38th level. In addition to the 2 levels brought by absorbing the soul ring, there is also the first level accumulated in Shrek Academy, and finally the full 5 levels after the awakening of the Mangekyo Sharingan. It just corresponds to his innate soul power. If he had innate soul power of level 10.5, then he would be slightly better than the innate soul power of level 10.5. Ding! The host breaks through to the Soul Master and gets a yellow level treasure chest. Please choose. Choice 1, Seduction, which is known as the most powerful illusion control skill. It can forcibly control the enemy regardless of level. The specific time depends on the will of the target. Legend has it that it was developed by a strong person and once defeated a god-level strong person with this technique. Choice 2, Konoha-style swordsmanship is a top-level swordsmanship developed by a strong man to target his old enemy. The swordsmanship targets its weaknesses and can produce critical hits when used against Uchiha. Choice 3, Uchiha-style swordsmanship, one of the top series of swordsmanship in a certain plane. It is a swordsmanship specially created for killing people. It has relatively balanced abilities and is suitable for Sharingan owners. Hanyu was slightly startled. This choice didn't seem to be particularly good. What was the first seduction technique? The corners of Hanyu's mouth twitched slightly. Let's rule this out first. As for the second and third ones, they are all swordsmanship series. Although I am a swordsman, I don't have a lot of swordsmanship. I just rely on my speed to chop at random. This time, each sword technique has its own characteristics, and it seems that the third option is more suitable for me. Then choose 3, I made up my mind. System, choice 3. Ding. The Uchiha sword technique has been distributed. As the system's emotionless voice came, a piece of information was instantly transmitted into Hanyu's mind. Chopping, stabbing, slashing, and lifting. Some basic movements and some specific skills are all there. Hanyu's heart moved, and a wave of experience in sword skills that he had practiced for many years was instantly transmitted into his body. Sect, Hanyu's small courtyard. 1.5 months have passed since the acquisition of the Ice Emperor. Ha! Swish! Uchiha-style swordsmanship. A figure quickly slashed with a knife, and the azure blade light instantly became larger. The terrifying momentum directly cut a huge gully in the small pond in front of him. There should be no weakness in close combat like this. Hanyu nodded. He has been practicing swordsmanship for the past month and a half, and now he is completely proficient. Squeak! The door of the courtyard was gently pushed open, a head poked out from the crack of the door. Hanyu, the sect master has something to ask you. Lan Luolua's eyes lit up when he saw Hanyu with his upper body naked. The blue figure instantly threw himself into Hanyu's arms, and his hands and arms tightly hugged him, and his white fingers gently slid across. Seeing this, Hanyu slowly pulled out his arm that was pressed by his fullness, and said helplessly, Lolo, why are you still so jumpy? This month, since Hanyu came back, Lan Luoluo always came to him when he had nothing to do. As soon as they met, he touched him all over, which made him extremely uncomfortable. Lan Luoluo snorted, Hanyu, have you forgotten what you said? I did, but I think this matter needs to be done slowly. You are making it difficult for me to deal with it. Hanyu was a little speechless. Since he was forced to agree to the request of this evil girl that day, the other party has become more and more unscrupulous. It seems that it is time to go out, so as not to fall into the maze. By the way, you said that the teacher has something to do with me, right? Then I will leave first. Thinking of this, Hanyu left a word, flashed a few times, and disappeared on the spot. Hanyu, you. Lan Luoluo couldn't help raising his hand, stamped his feet in dissatisfaction, and a trace of anger flashed in his eyes. This guy is just a blockhead. I've already taken the initiative. How abominable. But I won't give up. I'll do what my sister can't do. A smile flashed across Lan Luolua's face, and then she gently closed the door and turned to leave. Body Sect, main hall. Hanyu breathed a sigh of relief. This guy was too greedy. He has psychological trauma now. He straightened his robe slightly and stepped into the main hall. At this time, in the main hall, in addition to Dubusi and Jin Shindolua, there was also a girl wearing a goose-yellow long skirt sitting in the hall. For some reason, when he saw this girl, Hanyu felt a sense of familiarity in his heart. Masaka. Hanyu clasped his fists and bowed slightly. Teacher, I heard that you have something to ask me. Dubusi saw Hanyu coming and nodded. This time I asked you to come for the high-level Soul Master Fighting Soul competition across the continent. Let me introduce you first. This is the royal family of the Tianhun Empire, Princess Vina. Martial Soul Snow Lotus, Brain, and also a disciple of our body sect. Dubusi sat in the first seat and pointed to the girl next to him and introduced her. The girl had a head of black hair draped behind her, and her appearance was extremely beautiful, but she looked very weak. There were waves in her beautiful big eyes. Even if you just look at her from a distance, you can feel the gentleness that is there and not there. She looks about 15 or 16 years old, which is the age when girls are most youthful. The goose yellow dress covers her beautiful figure, and you can only vaguely feel the beauty from her exposed whiteness. Vina looked at the handsome boy in front of her. For some reason, she suddenly felt a throbbing in her heart, making her feel that the person in front of her is very kind, as if she is one with her. Hanyu clasped her fists slightly. Hello, Princess Vina. Hello, young master. Just call me Vina. We are from the same sect. I should be your senior sister. After all, I entered the sect earlier than you. Vina bowed slightly, then put her black hair behind her head, stood up, and said with a sweet smile, Vina should be about 14 or 15 years old now, and she also participated in the next competition. Hanyu smiled slightly. In this case, senior sister Vina, then we will call each other senior sister and brother, which will make us closer. Vina nodded slightly, covered her mouth and smiled, agreed with Hanyu's meaning, and then stared at Hanyu closely. Feeling Vina's gaze, Hanyu couldn't help but look over. Looking at each other, the throbbing in his heart seemed to become stronger. Dong dong. Dong dong. This is. Why does it look like the prelude to the fusion of martial spirits? Thinking of this, Hanyu could not help but approach Vina. In her surprised eyes, he just grabbed her soft hand. Dong dong dong. A drop of cold sweat slid down his forehead, and Hanyu knew that his feeling was not wrong. Brother Hanyu, could it be that between us? Vina, whose arm was grabbed, was about to struggle, but the throbbing in her heart made her stop and look at Hanyu with some doubts. Hanyu boy, what's going on with you? Sitting in the first seat, Dubusi couldn't help it. Looking at Hanyu and Vina holding hands, he felt a sense of fullness. I got it. What's it? Dubusi was even more confused. Could it be that this boy knew Vina? I got it. Could it be? Thinking of this, Dubusi's eyes changed when he looked at Hanyu. There was 3 parts of appreciation, 3 parts of doubt, and 4 parts of confusion in his eyes. When did these 2 people get together? How come I, as his master, didn't know about it? The martial soul fusion skill is available. A touch of excitement appeared on Hanyu's face. Just now he tried to inject soul power into Wei Na's body. Unexpectedly, as soon as I entered, there was no obstacle. The smoothness was unexpected. Vina's soul power was like nectar after a long drought, pulling his soul power deeper. Wherever he passed, the meridians lined his path to welcome him, as if welcoming the master back. The 2 soul powers continued to blend. Fortunately, Hanyu recovered the soul power in time, otherwise the 2 might have merged by now. A blush quietly appeared on Wei Na's face. Hanyu's soul power continued to swim in her body, sending waves of relief, making her body tremble slightly. Fortunately, she knew where this place was and forcibly restrained her body. When the 2 merged, she felt it most clearly. The soul power of the 2 was like water and milk blending together. Not only the soul power, but also the spirits of the 2 were involved at that moment. Martial soul fusion skills. A few words quietly emerged in Wei Na's mind, and her eyes suddenly became complicated when looking at Hanyu. As we all know, once martial soul fusion skills appear, the relationship between the 2 parties will become extremely close, either brothers, brother and sister, sister and brother, and finally husband and wife. Obviously she and Hanyu do not belong to the former group, they can only be the last one. What? Dubushu didn't know what the 2 of them were thinking. After hearing Hanyu say martial soul fusion technique, he stood up instantly. You too, you say? Looking at the hands held tightly by the 2 of them, the poisonous eyes looked back and forth, as if confirming. Well, I'm about 80% sure, because martial soul fusion skills require physical contact to fully fuse, so I'm not 100% sure. Hanyu didn't finish his words. Although he was sure in his heart, it was hard to say anything until he expressed it. Then why are you still standing there? You 2 hurry up and give it a try. Dubusho said anxiously, this is a martial soul fusion skill. Originally, the original martial soul was extremely rare. If the martial soul fusion technique could appear, my god, it is completely unimaginable how powerful the poisonous soul could be. One of your martial arts souls is the eyes, and the other is the brain. Once fused, it will definitely be spiritual, and the power will be extremely amazing. Han Yu smacked his lips and looked at Wei Na subconsciously. It doesn't matter to him, after all, he is a man, the other party is different. Not only is she a girl, but she is also the princess of the Tianhun Empire. Generally speaking, she should be somewhat repelled by physical contact with strange men. Then, junior brother Han Yu, come on. Wei Na, who seemed relatively weak, was unexpectedly much more open-minded than Han Yu imagined in this regard. Originally Han Yu was worried that she would care about the little grudge between men and women. In fact, Han Yu still didn't understand what martial soul fusion skill meant to a soul master. If he could understand it, he would also be able to understand why Wei Na was so decisive. In Wei Na's heart, the two of them can resonate with martial spirits, and there will definitely be a major intersection between the two in the future. Han Yu nodded, took a deep breath, looked at the pretty princess in front of him, opened his arms and hugged her. Seeing Han Yu getting closer and closer, Wei Na clenched her little hands quietly, her body tensed subconsciously, and her whole body seemed to have entered a special state of stiffness. This was the first boy she had come into contact with. Looking at his long eyelashes, Wei Na subconsciously stretched out her arms to hug him. As they got closer, Han Yu gently hugged Wei Na. Although her body was very elastic, it was still very soft, as if she had a boneless feeling, and there is a faint fragrance on her body. The two of them were about the same height. Han Yu hugged Wei Na, his face was on the side of her neck, and when his chin touched her slender neck, the smooth feeling made him tremble slightly. Han Yu wanted to sigh, but it was obviously not very suitable at this time. How is it? Wei Na almost whispered, her hands hugged her strong waist tightly. Han Yu's body was very strong, and there was a strong masculine aura, slightly with the faint smell of a boy's sweat. This experience made Wei Na's beautiful face turn red. Don't move, I'm coming. Han Yu slowly gathered his soul power, and at the same time carefully felt the breath of Wei Na. However, after hugging Wei Na tightly, his first feeling was that the fragrance was a bit stronger, and Wei Na's body seemed a little tense, but still very soft. Gradually, Han Yu felt the aura fluctuations on Wei Na's body, which was an extremely pure spiritual aura that was warm, different from his spiritual aura. Han Yu's own spirit is biased in the dark direction. As for Wei Na, maybe it's because her martial spirit is Snow Lotus. Her aura is very pure and has a breath of life. It stimulated the soul power in his body to move slowly, which was indescribably comfortable. What surprised him even more was that in this pure spiritual aura fluctuation, the aura of life gradually emerged. The aura belonging to Wei Na actually changed twice, but Han Yu clearly sensed that he could only resonate with one of them. The warm spiritual power and the cold spiritual power began to merge, two strands of transparent energy entangled in the air, and the figures of the two people below slowly became transparent. Swish! A strong spiritual beam suddenly appeared, and the whole hall suddenly became dark, and it was pitch dark. What is this? Changing the sky. Du Buxi looked at the two people who slowly disappeared. A trace of shock flashed in his eyes, and he murmured, "This spiritual power has reached the level of Soul Saint." Before Du Buxi was surprised, a bigger change came. Outside the hall, the sky suddenly became dark, as if it was poured with ink, completely covering the entire body sect. Swish! A silver snake fell from the sky and hit the body sect square fiercely. The disciples who were practicing were awakened, and smoke and dust rose for a while. What's going on? Why did the sky change? A disciple of the body sect looked at the darkening sky outside and couldn't help saying. Long Outyen, who was sitting cross-legged on the square, opened his eyes, and a flash of shock flashed in the depths of his eyes. Why is the weather in the body sect always changing these days? The last time the weather changed was not long ago. This can't be, that guy did it again. Bad memories flashed through Long Outyen's mind. The last time he was severely injured by Han Yu, he had to lie in bed for several days. Don't panic, everyone go into the house, don't come out, this is normal. Du Buxi's low voice came, and the panicked disciples breathed a sigh of relief. and then left the square. Master, at this time, there were more than 20 figures in the hall, and the weakest among them were all Soul Douluo level masters. Du Buxi waved his hand and said calmly, "Don't panic, this is a martial soul fusion skill." Langya below couldn't help but say, "This is a martial soul fusion skill. How come even the celestial phenomena have changed?" However, all the masters ignored him and stared at the two figures in the hall, breathing rapidly. A hint of fanaticism flashed in his eyes. "God bless my body sect." Golden Body Douluo couldn't help but say excitedly in his heart. Sizzle. Another silver snake descended, and the figure in the hall finally disappeared, replaced by a handsome young man. The boy had long white hair and wore a white robe. He sat cross-legged in the air with his eyes tightly closed. Behind the boy, a huge blood moon appeared above the hall. There was a vertical line running through the middle of the blood moon, which looked like a closed eye. Suddenly, the boy slowly opened his eyes, and a scarlet light suddenly shone as his eyes opened, which was particularly eye-catching in the darkness. Martial Soul Fusion Skill. God, Moon Reading. Crack, crack, crack. As if the sound of an eggshell breaking sounded, the blood moon in the sky slowly opened his eyes as the boy slowly opened his eyes, and the vertical line in the middle slowly expanded. Swoosh. The scarlet light instantly shone brightly, illuminating the entire dark sky in an instant, like a light cocoon that enveloped the entire body sect. This is. Long Outyan felt a familiar feeling coming, and then the scene in front of him changed. The familiar scene appeared again. This is, that space. Long Outyan was shocked. Isn't this the illusion space where he had been lying for a few days? Bad memories came back again, and at this moment, he was confused. When did Han Yu cast an illusion on him? Fortunately, the moon reading space did not attack him this time. It only lasted for a few breaths and then quietly dissipated. The sky gradually became bright again, and the blood moon disappeared at some point. Du Buxi wiped off the non-existent cold sweat and recalled the space just now. As a super Douluo, Du Buxi analyzed the power of this martial soul fusion skill in a short time. In his judgment, although that space could not pose any threat to him, it was a devastating skill for people below the Soul Saint. He could feel that once dragged into that space, as long as the cultivation was lower than the Soul Saint, he could only be slaughtered. What a powerful martial soul fusion skill. Du Buxi looked at the two unconscious people with excitement. He waved his hand. Langya, take Han Yu and Vina down and let them have a good rest. Yes, Sect Master. Just as he was about to turn around and leave, Du Buxi seemed to remember something and called him. Put them on the same bed. A strange smile flashed across Du Buxi's eyes, and he thought to himself, Han Yu, this is all I can do. I hope you won't be too excited when you wake up. Master, what are you doing? Golden Body Douluo hesitated. Old Jean, the good stuff should stay in the family. How can the cabbage from your own family be sold to pigs outside? Du Buxi smiled proudly. Master, you are smart. Hearing this, Golden Body Douluo clasped his hands together, with an indescribable weirdness on his face. Pass it on, all disciples must keep today's event secret, and no one is allowed to tell anyone. This time, the champion of the Continental High-Level Soul Master Fighting Soul Competition, my body sect wants it. The sect has been silent for so long, it's time to come out. Yes, Master. More than 20 figures in the hall agreed one after another, with excitement between their brows. Time passed slowly, the sky soon darkened, and the entire body sect was shrouded in darkness again. As night fell, time flowed quietly over the sky of the body sect like a long river. After sunset, the afterglow gradually faded, and the ancient buildings of the entire body sect began to be covered by a thin layer of twilight. The moment the last ray of light disappeared from the horizon, the vast night spread quietly like an endless piece of silk, covering every brick and tile, every tree and object of the body sect. Under this dark curtain, the body sect seemed particularly quiet, as if even the air had quieted down. In a trance, Han Yu felt as if he was wrapped in a soft touch, covering him so that he couldn't breathe. It's so uncomfortable, I'm about to suffocate to death. He grabbed it subconsciously. A muffled hum came, and Han Yu, who was already confused, woke up instantly. Oh no, on a big bed, 2 pairs of shoes under the bed, 2 people on the bed, 1 man and 1 woman, the woman locked the man tightly, like an octopus, create a group, enter in the introduction. Chapter 85 Why are you in my bed? Please subscribe, please vote. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Han Yu was shocked. Needless to say, he knew that it was his disrespectful teacher who did it, vaguely remembering what Du Bushit said to him, Boy Han Yu, after many years of research, I have found that if 2 people are both owners of the original martial soul, as they combine, there is a high probability that a descendant will be born who also has the original martial spirit. Possible. But the owners of the original martial soul are extremely rare, so this speculation is difficult to test. However, I didn't expect that your boy brought me 2 little girls. They are both original martial spirits. Although the strength of the martial spirits is not high enough, they can still be regarded as original martial spirits. As long as you leave a seed, it doesn't matter which martial spirit you inherit, it's fine. Han Yu couldn't help it at that time. Teacher, what if it's neither of them? You must know that the original martial spirit is randomly generated. According to Du Bushu's guess, there is a high probability that the offspring of 2 couples with original martial spirits may also have original martial spirits. Although the probability is not very high, it is at least controllable. If not, then you have to ask yourself if there is any change in color on your head. Other martial spirits can mutate into the original martial spirit, so what will the original martial spirit mutate into? In the future, whether the Numenon sect can flourish or not depends on you. Even if you don't succeed, you won't lose. Seeing the confident look on Du Bushi's face, Han Yu was speechless. Who can explain this clearly? If the child he gave birth to with Lan Luoluo and the others was not the martial spirit of either of them, then who would he be? But if it is just based on mutation, then how did the martial spirits of the 2 brothers Poison and Poison come from and mutate together? However, Han Yu just complained about this. He didn't know what would happen to others, but his Sharingan martial spirit was 100% inheritable. Weina, she has 2 martial souls and her talents are quite good. Judging from her soul power fluctuations, she has obviously reached the soul sect. She is no worse than Bebe and the others. If Han Yu remembered correctly, in the competition in Mingdu, Weina had reached the cultivation level of the Soul Emperor, but there were too many mistakes in that competition, and even Long Outyen was defeated. Looking at Karina entangled with him, Han Yu had a headache. What should he do? He wanted to push her away, but he was afraid of waking her up, which would make it even more embarrassing. Forget it, just lie down for now. I didn't mean to take advantage anyway. With this thought in his mind, Han Yu moved his body and quietly thought about the martial soul fusion technique. This martial soul fusion technique is obviously led by me. While greatly strengthening my mental power, it is also fused with one of my pupil techniques, Tsukimi. To put it simply, it is amplified through the moon, exuding powerful mental power to influence others, turning the single-skilled Tsukimi into a group, and consuming the mental power of 2 people. I can feel that my eyes are not a sour feeling came. The price should be to consume most of the 2 people's mental energy, otherwise we would not be unconscious, and the interval between uses is not likely to be too short. The mental power that can control the soul saint level in an instant is enough to control everyone shrouded in the moonlight. As long as I think about it, everyone will lose their ability to fight. Tie them to crosses and tear them apart. A smile appeared at the corner of Han Yu's mouth. With this trump card, he felt more confident. This thing requires 2 people to work together. Fortunately, Wei Na is a twin martial soul, so there is no fear that she will not be able to keep up with the speed of her soul power improvement. Speaking of which, the twin martial souls are really cheating tools for training. When the soul rings are absorbed in the later stages, the soul power level will rise. I don't know if the second martial spirit can be released later in the system. If it can, that would be great. But even if it doesn't happen, with my Sharingan, as long as I evolve to the Eternal Mangekyo and increase my soul power level, no one in Douluo continent will be my opponent. Han Yu is not that obsessed with twin martial souls. After all, his Sharingan is far superior to ordinary martial souls. No matter how many martial souls he has, they cannot maintain high quality. At most, it just has more circles, which is of no use other than looking good. My current strength, with the opening of the Mangekyo Sharingan, has become unpredictable. Needless to say, under normal circumstances, this is definitely far superior to the same level. If you pay a certain price, you can kill even that turkey at will. However, it is better to use the Mangekyo Sharingan less. The price is too heavy. If the soul power level is higher, the burden will not be so heavy. Thinking of that day, I couldn't suppress my curiosity and quietly experimented with it. In just a short period of time, a large amount of his soul and mental energy was drained away, and the blood from his eyes flowed out loudly. He was so frightened that he quickly closed his Sharingan. The consumption is terrible, but the power is okay. The Soul Master competition will start in a few months. It should be no problem to break through to the Soul Sect during this period. It's just that this Soul Ring is a bit troublesome. In my expectation, it is best for the fourth Soul Ring to belong to the Snow Emperor. I have already communicated with the Ice Emperor, and it will not be a problem to convince the Snow Emperor. It's just that the Snow Emperor is a bit difficult to get now. If you want to get it, I'm afraid you have to wait for the Soul Master competition to start, and then. How about just finding a 100,000-year-old soul beast? It's not difficult with the help of a teacher. Just as Hanyu was thinking a lot, the person in his arms finally woke up. Vina snorted lightly, opened her eyes in a daze, stretched out her white arms and rubbed her eyes, as if to make her sober. Brother Hanyu? Why are you in my bed? Am I still dreaming? Vina murmured subconsciously and patted her cheeks gently. Huh? Why are you still here? At this time, Vina finally found something wrong. Her mouth suddenly opened, and the next moment, she was about to scream. Hanyu had a flash of bad thoughts in his mind, and he quickly stretched out his hands, holding Vina's back of the head with his left hand, and covering his mouth with his right hand. His hot breath immediately wet his palms. Vina opened her eyes wide, a flash of fear flashed in her eyes, and she struggled subconsciously. Hanyu sighed in his heart, Sister Vina, don't move, listen to me, this is what happened. Hanyu explained the whole thing to Vina with a helpless look, including Dubusi's arrangement. Vina finally stopped struggling, her big eyes full of crystal. Senior sister, I will let go of my hand now, don't scream, just nod your head if you agree. Hearing this, Vina nodded quickly like a chick pecking at rice. Hanyu breathed a sigh of relief and gently loosened her hand that was covering her. Vina was indeed a princess, and she was still sensible. Huff, ha, ha. Vina breathed in the fresh air, her face turned red due to lack of oxygen. After a while, she finally recovered and looked at Hanyu with complicated eyes. I didn't expect that. I just came here to win over the body sect, but now I have lost myself. Although there has been no substantial progress at present, she has hugged and embraced him. As a royal princess, she attaches great importance to this aspect. In her heart, the atmosphere froze at this moment, and a strange atmosphere quietly rose. The two looked at each other and nodded tacitly. Well, I heard that you are here to discuss the Soul Master competition with the teacher. Hanyu took the lead in breaking the bottleneck. When encountering an awkward topic, it is best to change the topic, so that it will not be awkward. When Hanyu mentioned the Soul Master competition, Vina felt an unreasonable anger in her heart and said with a somewhat resentful tone. Yes, I heard that the Sect Master said that he was going to send disciples to participate in the Soul Master competition, so I arranged you to enter the academy, and then participate in the competition under the name of the academy. Hanyu nodded. The sect cannot participate in the Soul Master competition. If you want to participate, you can only join a certain academy. So, how do you plan to arrange us? The Tianhun Empire has always had two relatively powerful academies. One of them is our Tianhun Empire Royal Academy, called Dao Academy. It is quite powerful and should have no problem entering the top 4. There is also a school called Jingtian Academy, which is a step behind Dao Academy. My idea is to arrange you to Dao Academy. Go to Jingtian Academy, Hanyu said without hesitation. As for why he went to Jingtian Academy, it must have something to do with Shrek Academy. If Shrek Academy can't make it to the semi-finals, then there will be fun. Okay, Vina nodded. Since Han Yu wanted to go to Jingtian Academy, then let him go. Anyway, both academies belong to the Tianhun Empire, so she can just make some arrangements. In addition, I hope that senior sister Vina can participate in the competition with me, after all. Han Yu looked at Vina. It didn't matter if she didn't have the martial soul fusion skill. It didn't matter whether Vina went or not, in his expectation, he would just pull Long Outyen and then find a few teammates, but now, he and Vina have the martial soul fusion skill, so with her help, he can be a little more relaxed. Vina didn't refuse, and nodded gently. Now that the two of them have the martial soul fusion skill, they will be much stronger together. Moreover, as a princess of the royal family, she also has her own little thoughts in her mind. Looking at the handsome Han Yu, Vina fell into thought. Now among the four empires, the Sun Moon Empire is the strongest, followed by the Xinglua Empire, and then the Tianhun Empire. The ranking is like this, but if there is no suppression from Shrek Academy, the three Douluo kingdoms combined cannot beat the Sun Moon Empire. If we can win the support of the body sect, then my Tianhun Empire will be able to protect itself. Thinking of this, Vina looked at Han Yu in front of her, and a trace of inexplicable color flashed in her eyes. Senior sister Vina, let's go to eat. It seems that we have been sleeping for a day, and I'm hungry for a long time. Han Yu said softly, stand up, tidy up your clothes a little, and look at Vina who is still in a daze. Stretch out your right hand. Vina looked at the hand that was stretched out, her face flushed slightly, and then naturally put her hand on it. The two have martial soul fusion skills, everything is self-evident. After dinner, I will go to the teacher to discuss the candidates, and then go to Jingtian Academy together. Chapter 86 The Second Awakening of the Main Body Spirit. I'll make up for the one I owe. I'm crying. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Numenon Sect, the main hall of the sect. Sect Master, in the past month or so, Yuan Gun and the Lan sisters have successively broken through to level 30 soul power. I plan to take them to hunt for souls next. Langya bowed slightly and said to Du Bushi, who was at the top of the list, he is responsible for the daily cultivation of Numenon Sect disciples. Du Bushi said, in that case, then go ahead and make arrangements. You must find the most suitable soul ring for them. Even if it takes a little more time, you can't do it perfunctorily. Yes, Sect Master. Count me in, just in time to practice. At this moment, a loud voice appeared in the hall. Han Yu took Wei Na and walked over slowly. Teacher. Metropolitan. Han Yu and Wei Na bowed slightly. A glimmer of light flashed in Du Bushi's eyes. He smiled, waved his hand, and then said with some meaning, we are already a family, there is no need to be so polite. Little Wei Na. Hearing this, Wiener's fair cheeks blushed slightly. Of course she understood what it meant to be poisonous to death. A hint of shame flashed through her heart, but she found that she didn't seem to resist in her heart. Han Yu rolled his eyes and said angrily, Teacher, you just sold your disciple away. You brat, don't take advantage of me and act like a good boy. Wei Na is no longer worthy of you. In terms of status, she is a royal princess. In terms of talent, she is a twin martial soul, and she has a martial soul fusion skill with you. I don't need to say more about what martial soul fusion skills mean to soul masters. You two are a natural couple. You kid won't dislike Wei Na, right? Du Bushi scolded him for a while, and the beard on his chin trembled with anger. Wei Na's eyes were focused and with a soft light, fixed on Han Yu's body, with a trace of obvious expectation in her eyes. Han Yu looked a little embarrassed, and he gently turned his head to avoid Wei Na's deep gaze. He was confused in his heart. He didn't know what these women were thinking. It was really hard for him to figure out. However, he began to wonder if this emotion was too hasty just because they accidentally performed the martial soul fusion skill. Now the situation seemed absurd, and it seemed as if they had become a couple without any effort. Isn't this sudden relationship equivalent to unfounded wealth falling from the sky? Han Yu couldn't help but laugh at herself, wondering if it was because of her outstanding appearance that she was in such a situation. but what he didn't know was that as he deepened his exploration of the Sharingan's abilities, his appearance became more and more handsome unknowingly. This change from the inside out makes him exude a unique charm that is irresistible, making people unconsciously attracted and eager to get close to him. Wei Na's beauty also fits Han Yu's aesthetics, and her radiant face left a deep and beautiful impression on him. Coupled with her status as a royal princess and her noble and extraordinary temperament, they all added points to her invisibly. It's not that I dislike senior sister Wei Na, it's just that this is a bit too fast. Han Yu said helplessly. Hurry up, I'm already a father at your age. Du Bushu teased. Han Yu's tone was stagnant. It seemed that the two people's thoughts were not on the same level. Looking at Wei Na, what made Han Yu even more speechless was that Wei Na didn't seem to object. Something is wrong. Han Yu didn't want to continue talking on this topic and quickly changed the topic. When will they set off? Elder Langya, who was eating melon on the side, had already had enough, and said quickly, Young Sect Master, we will go to the Star Do Forest early tomorrow morning. Okay, call me when the time comes. Yes, then Sect Master, I will take my leave first. Langya bowed slightly to Du Bushu and then left. Teacher, who are you going to send to compete in this competition? Back to business, Du Bushu became much more serious. I plan to send out Yen, Yu, Wei Na, the Lan sisters, and Yuan Gun. It was reasonable in Han Yu's vision for Long Out Yen and Wei Na to go, but the abilities of the Lan sisters and Yuan Gun are still too low. I have equipped the three of them with 2 soul bones that are over 50,000 years old in the Sect's treasure house. In addition, the Sect has also given them the Soul Ascension Pill and Xianshui Pill. Now they have awakened their martial souls for the second time. Wait. After they obtain the Soul Ring, their strength is no less than that of the Soul Sect. The Lan sisters have martial soul fusion skills. As long as the third Soul Ring is chosen well, their strength will definitely be far superior to most people. But they are not the main force. They mainly go there to practice. To win the championship, it depends on you, Outyen, and Wei Na. Han Yu nodded. If this is the case, then there is still a chance to play. Teacher, what level of martial soul awakening are they? Hearing this, Du Bushu had a smile on his face. Not bad, just 2 bronze levels and 1 silver level. Although there was an expression of insignificance on his face, Han Yu knew that this was already terrifying. The bronze level is undoubtedly the 2 sisters of the Lan family. Their martial souls are hair. The awakening of the bronze level is really beyond his expectation. As far as he knows, after awakening at the black iron level, once the secret method is used, the strength will increase by more than 30%. After awakening at the bronze level, once the secret method is used, the strength will increase by more than 60%. After awakening at the silver level, once the secret method is used, the strength will increase by more than 100%. As for the highest gold level, it can increase the combat effectiveness of martial souls by 100% to 300%, but requires consuming vitality. The more consumed, the greater the effect. Once the 2 sisters use the martial soul fusion skill, with the increase in bronze level martial soul awakening, it will obviously be no problem to trap opponents 2 levels higher, but the time may be shorter. What he didn't expect the most was that Yuan Gun could actually awaken to the silver level. It seemed that the potential of his martial spirit was even more powerful than he imagined. Generally, silver-level products will only appear in important parts of the human body, so parts like fat should also be considered important. Moreover, Du Bushu has equipped each of them with 2 soul bones that are over 50,000 years old. This is a big deal. However, the Numenon sect doesn't have much money, but it still has a lot of reserves of things like soul bones. Han Yu went to the treasure house to take a look and saw that there were several 100,000-year soul bones alone, although they were not in very good condition. Obviously, these are the leftover ones, or no one is suitable for these soul bones, causing them to become dusty. This is just what Han Yu sees on the surface. As for whether there is more secretly, Han Yu doesn't know. As for why he didn't absorb these soul bones, Han Yu felt that these soul bones were a bit lacking. When I get stronger, I'll get some ferocious beast soul bones to play with. Okay, let's go with these people. Han Yu nodded, and together with himself and others, there were several people in Jingtian Academy who were not bad in strength. so it was enough to deal with Shrek. Early the next morning, Han Yu set off with Langya. After a few days of work, we arrived at the Star Forest. "Boss, what level of soul power do you have now?" Yuan Gungun said curiously. After not seeing him for 2 months, he had gained some weight. After Langya knew that he could improve his soul power by eating, he specially arranged a food supplement training method for him. The sect even sent a titled Douluo level elder to personally go to the sea to find ingredients for him. This treatment made Yuan Gungun so happy that he couldn't find Bei and called him the right person. If he hadn't been stuck by the soul ring, he would probably be over level 30 by now. As for Lan Luoluo sisters, they practice just like other disciples, tempering their bodies. In the past 2 months, my strength has also undergone earth-shaking changes. As control-type soul masters, their close combat strength has also been strengthened, and Han Yu also taught them the Uchiha-style sword technique. Because the training time is still short, it can only be said to be usable now. If you want to display its power, you need to practice more. Han Yu smiled slightly. I should be at the peak of level 38 now, and I will reach level 39 soon. After awakening the Manjikyu Sharingan, the speed of cultivation has increased significantly, and it will take more than a month to reach another level. A trace of shock flashed in Yuan Gungun's eyes, and he said somewhat depressedly, "I thought I was practicing very fast, but I didn't expect you, boss, to be even faster than me. In 2 months, you have been promoted to 8 levels. Are you still a human being?" Sisters Lan Susu and Lan Luoluo also looked at Han Yu in disbelief. Han Yu shook his head and laughed. "This is caused by the evolution of my martial soul. Only in this way can I increase my soul power in a short period of time. If there is no martial soul evolution, I can only increase it by 3 levels at most." Hearing this, Yuan Gungun felt a little better, and he could still accept it at level 3. "By the way, do you have a direction for your soul beast? What type do you plan to get?" Langya chuckled. "I arranged for Gungun to be a powerful soul beast, or a defensive type. For example, the Thunder Tyrannosaurus, the Earth Hedgehog, the powerful Vajra Bear, or a soul beast like the Black Tiger. The best among them is of course the Thunder Tyrannosaurus, and the others are also acceptable." Susu and Luoluo, after listening to their ideas, "I have several alternative targets. Sword Bamboo, Underground Demon Spider, Thundering Yenyu Vine. But the last one is relatively small, so the target is still the first 2, or other soul beasts that enhance toughness. The martial soul of Hare is quite compatible. It's easy to find a suitable soul beast." Han Yu nodded. Needless to say, Yuan Gungun was quite suitable, but he had some thoughts of his own about the martial spirits of the Lan sisters. He remembered a strong man who could attack or defend through his hair. The attack is to turn the hair into thin needles and then shoot them out. They are extremely sharp. If you don't dodge in time, you will be pierced into a hedgehog. Defense is to condense the hair and produce a large amount of hair to protect yourself. This requires that the quality of the hair is very high. Elder Langya, I remember that there is a social soul beast called the Golden-Ringed Needlebee, which should be more suitable for Susu and the others. If the predictions are correct, there is a high probability that you will be able to obtain the poison needle skill. If you turn your hair into poison needles, it will be very exciting. Chapter 87: The Legendary Sacrifice. Please subscribe, please vote. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Han Yu smiled. Although bees have nothing to do with hair, they are very compatible with hair. If what he had in mind was true, it would be terrifying. Langya was stunned. In his understanding, hair belongs to the control type, and should be more inclined to plant or mesh type skills. Unexpectedly, Han Yu actually proposed to absorb the soul skills of bees, which was unprecedented. What do you think? If the soul skills don't match, then you will waste a skill slot. After thinking about it, Langya decided to consult the Lan family sisters for their opinions. Lan Luoluo said without thinking, "Then just absorb this big bee." "I believe in Han Yu." After saying that, she blinked her big eyes at Han Yu and said a little playfully. Lan Susu nodded slightly without saying a word, her eyes full of trust. Han Yu smiled awkwardly. This girl couldn't even hide it now, but she was still slightly touched in her heart. Unlike themselves, they have no shortage of soul skills, and every soul ring skill is precious to them. but even so, they are still willing to trust themselves. This trust is extremely valuable, Langya chuckled. In that case, let's set off. I happen to know where this kind of soul beast gathers. You follow me and try not to stay too far away from me. Han Yu and the others nodded, and then followed Langya into the star forest. The golden-ringed needlebee is a gregarious soul-like beast. It is not strong individually, but there are many of them. Once surrounded, it is quite difficult to deal with. As Langya walked, he faced the soul beasts Han Yu, Yuan Gun Gun, Lon Susu and Lon Luoluo had encountered. Han Yu has known about these things for a long time, but Yuan Gun Gun and others' eyes lit up when they heard it, and it was obvious that they had gained a lot. Our destination this time is a mixed zone, which is mostly populated by 1,000-year soul beasts and 10,000-year soul beasts, but it is also very dangerous. But don't worry, the sect has sent a titled Douluo to follow you. He will take action when your lives are in danger. As we go deeper into the star forest, the vegetation becomes denser, and the tall tree crowns envelop the forest. Sunlight can only penetrate through the gaps, bringing a ray of light to this dark forest. Swish, 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 a small movement attracted everyone's attention. Be careful, it's a mandala snake. Judging from its age, it should be about 1,000 years old, Langya greeted, and then a total of 8 soul rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 4 black, appeared at his feet. As the soul ring appeared, a powerful spiritual power was crushing towards the 1,000-year mandala snake like a storm. The huge body of the datura snake froze, then turned around and ran away with its tail between its legs. As the number of soul beasts decreases, we will not kill these low-level soul beasts if we can. Langya saw that the mandala snake was scared away by him, and then he stopped breathing and led everyone forward. Is this contra-level spiritual power? It's really powerful. Han Yu murmured in his heart that his current mental strength was obviously far behind compared to Langya. Although the Mangekyo Sharingan is extremely powerful, it also depends on the strength of the person who uses it. If the foundation is too poor, it is like a child dancing with a machete. Thankless. After walking for about an hour, the star forest was getting darker and darker. Not far ahead is the gathering place of the Golden Ring Needle Peak. You follow me closely, and I will hunt 2,000-year-olds for you. Langya's face became a little solemn. With his own strength, he was naturally not afraid of these soul beasts, but there were several little guys behind him at the moment, so he did not dare to be careless. Soon, Han Yu and the others saw one of their prey, the Golden Ring Needle Peak. It is very different from ordinary bees. It has 3 poisonous needles. It is a huge poisonous bee. It can be more than half a meter in length. Its whole body is wrapped with circles of golden patterns, so it is named Golden Ring Big Needle Peak. At this moment, they had obviously discovered the intruder, and with some buzzing sounds, they directly attacked several people. Swish, brush, brush. The Golden Ring Needle Peak, which rushed over first, pouted its tail, and a large number of poisonous needles flashed with cold light, like a rain of needles all over the sky, and were launched at such a fast speed that it caused the sound of wind. Snort. Langya snorted coldly, and 8 soul rings rushed up from his feet. The 3rd soul ring shone slightly, and an invisible wave came out of his body, the poisonous needles flying in the air and the golden ring needle peak in front of them fell down one after another as if they hit an invisible wall of air. A mere 1,000-year-old poisonous bee dares to be so presumptuous. Elder Langya is so awesome. Yuan Gun Gun looked shocked. Is this the strength of a soul Douluo? He could kill a 1,000-year-old soul beast in an instant. Those rushing in front were all millennium soul beasts, unable to withstand Langya's blow at all. The 10,000 years needle peak behind them was a little timid for a moment. Langya smiled slightly and waved his hand, and 2 large needle peaks with golden rings that were about 3,000 years old were pulled towards him. Elder Langya, leave 2,000-year-old golden ring needle peaks behind. I have use for them. At this moment, Han Yu suddenly made a sound. Why is this? They can't absorb the 10,000-year soul ring. Although Langya was a little confused, he still followed Han Yu's words and left 2 large needle peaks that were about 10,000 years old and drove the other large needle peaks here. Young Sect Master, what use do you have for this 10,000-year soul beast? After suppressing the 10,000-year soul beast with his mental power, Langya turned his head and asked. Han Yu smiled slightly. I have an idea to test. If it succeeds, then they should be able to directly absorb the 10,000-year soul ring. What? Langya was shocked. It was outrageous. It was out of the original score. It was impossible to succeed. The third soul ring absorbed the 10,000-year soul ring. Han Yu ignored him and came to a large needle peak. The Mangekyo Sharingan appeared in his eyes. The windmill spun violently and stared at it closely. Swish. The scarlet light shone brightly. Sacrifice it, Han Yu whispered. As he finished speaking, the golden ring needle peak shook, and the pattern of the windmill also appeared in his eyes. Then, it roared, and the black light burst out instantly, and a powerful aura surrounded it. This is Sacrifice Magnetic Field. Langya couldn't help but exclaimed, his eyes full of disbelief. It was well known that 100,000-year soul beast could be sacrificed, but the 10,000-year soul beast sacrifice, he had never heard of it. It was really a knife cutting his butt. He opened his eyes. Susu, get ready. This one is for you. Han Yu continued to maintain the Sharingan. The process of sacrifice was an illusion he cast on the golden ring needle peak. It could not be interrupted before success, otherwise all the previous efforts might be wasted. Lan Susu straightened her face when she heard this, and then sat cross-legged. The black light was like ink. Under Han Yu's control, the black light column shot up into the sky. The area within a few miles seemed to be covered with ink. The body of the golden ring needle peak gradually dissipated and turned into a black light that rushed into Lan Susu's body. Lan Susu groaned, and the powerful soul power was injected, causing her body to tremble violently. Fortunately, the sacrifice was the soul beast giving itself to the soul master without reservation, so there was no problem of soul beast backlash. Lan Susu only trembled at the beginning, and then gradually calmed down, and the aura on her body gradually became stronger. A circle of light black soul rings quietly rose from under her feet. Success, success! Lan Luoluo exclaimed, and quickly covered her mouth, with a flash of envy in her eyes. This is a 10,000-year soul ring, and it is in the third position. Even if the soul ring skills obtained are not very good, it is worth it. Yuan Gungun on the side also looked at Han Yu with expectation. If Lan Luoluo had not taken the first step, he would have slid down to his knees. Han Yu, I want it too. Lan Luoluo turned his head to look at Han Yu, who closed his eyes, and hugged his arm and shook it gently like a spoiled child. Okay, don't worry, wait until Su absorbs it. Han Yu's heart was moved when he felt the softness in his hand. After carefully feeling it, Han Yu found that if he only used illusion, there was almost no damage to the Mangekyo Sharingan. As long as he did not use pupil skills, it should be fine to use it normally. It just consumed a little mental energy. After all, this was forcibly controlling a 10,000-year soul beast to sacrifice. The mental energy consumed in it was much more troublesome than directly controlling a person. According to the current consumption, I can only forcefully control 4 such soul beasts. If there are more, it will be a bit too much. After roughly estimating the consumption, Han Yu had a rough idea in his mind. The third soul ring has a 10,000-year soul ring attached, which is more ostentatious than him, but it doesn't matter, the body sect can handle it. I just don't know what those people from Shrek Academy will think when they see such a scene. Time passed slowly. Lan Susu's body shook, and then stood up, with a touch of joy on her pretty face. Han Yu, thank you. Ba Ji, that the sudden warmth caught Han Yu off guard, and he subconsciously touched the remaining warmth. Sister, you. Lan Luoluo widened her eyes and looked at Lan Susu in disbelief. Is this still her sister? The reservedness you always talk about on weekdays is gone. I just want to thank Han Yu. Lan Susu's face flushed when she saw this, and she lowered her head in a hurry, hesitating and speaking incoherently. At this moment, she was full of shyness. She didn't know what happened just now. She just wanted to express her excitement, so she ate up. Afterwards, she came to her senses. Okay, Luoluo, get ready, it's your turn next, Han Yu interrupted a few people. He knew that Lan Susu must be very embarrassed at this time. One of the two sisters was quiet and the other was lively. Lan Susu's ability to do this was really beyond Han Yu's expectations, but he didn't object. Anyway, he didn't suffer any loss. Well, I'm ready. Lan Luoluo's face was serious and nodded. The Sharingan was activated again, and it was copied as before. Soon, Lan Luoluo succeeded in absorbing, then, in Han Yu's incredulous eyes. Baji, after a 2-minute entanglement, his first kiss was gone. In this regard, I, Han Yu, recognize you. Looking at Lan Luoluo who stuck out her tongue and acted cute, Han Yu showed a knowing smile at the corner of her mouth. I have to say that this feeling is still very good. Okay, let's see what skills you have acquired, Han Yu said with some curiosity. Now is the time to verify his guess. Lang Ye and Yuan Gun Gun also came over. Lan Susu and Lan Luoluo looked at each other, and a smile flashed in their eyes. Lan Luoluo said, Han Yu, watch it. The third soul skill, Lan Yu Cold Light Flash, the two sisters shouted in unison. Afterwards, the light black 10,000-year soul ring shone brightly, swish swish swish. Just now, the blue long hair of the two sisters seemed to be driven by a mysterious force, suddenly showing a state completely different from usual, stretching and expanding rapidly. The blue hair that swallowed the sky and covered the sun revealed a tense atmosphere, and then instantly broke through the air and broke into pieces. This change was really shocking. The broken hair was reborn and transformed into needles of various shapes and sizes, and each needle emitted a cold light like ice. In that cold light, there was a destructive poison hidden. The dazzling blue cold light flashed on the dense needles, cold and forceful. Immediately afterwards, a harsh hissing sound broke through the quiet air, as if countless small rockets were launched, and the initial launch pad was the two sisters. Compared with the previous broken hair turning into needles, this scene seemed to be more shocking. Thousands of black broken hair shot out, like a blue poisonous rain falling one after another. The target of this poisonous rain was a big tree not far from them, and then the powerful erosion made it lose its vitality. Just as the first needle tip pierced the tree, a series of bangs sounded, as if drawing a straight line of death in the air, with a sharp force, tearing the air, penetrating the big tree behind, and disappearing only when the fifth needle tip hit. When Han Yu walked in front of the first pierced tree, dense needle holes came into view. Each hole was like a crack pierced by a sword, and there were obvious traces of erosion by toxins on the edge of the hole. Silently, he nodded in agreement. This was indeed beyond his previous imagination. Its amazing penetration and speed were unmatched by other attacks. Even in the face of violent and sudden attacks, even Soul Sect could not take any effective defensive measures in a very short reaction time. It was only a matter of time before he fell down and died of poison. The questions that had been lingering in his mind before found their answers. There was no doubt that this was definitely an extremely fierce 10,000-year soul skill. Han Yu walked back and was about to speak when a piece of news that surprised him came over. Please subscribe, please vote, thank you brothers, love you. Chapter 88 Blue Rain Overlord Spear. Please subscribe, please vote. You are listening at novelfull.audio. We also obtained soul bones, and they can be used together with our soul skills, Lan Luoluo said with a mysterious tone. It seems that it was dropped by sacrifice. It seems that both sisters have it, Han Yu guessed in his heart. What soul skill? Han Yu's heart moved. Although the quality of the 10,000-year-old soul bone was a bit inferior, if he had suitable soul skills, the age could be ignored. Soul Power Link. Under Han Yu's shocked eyes, Lan Susu and Lan Luoluo held hands. At this moment, Lan Luoluo's soul power aura was approaching the Soul King. Then, Lan Yu Overlord Spear. I am Chao, right? The long blue hair that filled the sky appeared again, like filaments falling from the sky, and then these long hairs seemed to have come to life, automatically winding and condensing. It transformed into a sharp spear that was 3 meters long and only 1.5 centimeters wide, suspended in the slightly flickering air. In a clearing in the forest, Lan Luoluo raised her small hand, as if directing an invisible band. With a sudden wave of her gesture, the spear shot at lightning speed like an ordered soldier. Ahead, it passed through the greenery of the forest and headed straight for the huge old tree. After penetrating, it continued forward until it stopped precisely at the 10th tree. Quickly, from the first to the 10th tree, a neat hole connected these big trees, like delicate beads in the hands of a skilled craftsman. After issuing this powerful blow, Lan Luolua's figure trembled slightly, and the air around her seemed to be evacuated. Her momentum dropped with the release of the skill, but her eyes were still shining with unabated excitement. How about it? Han Yu nodded slowly, 2 words appearing in his mind, awesome. Isn't this the skill of the God King? Our soul bones can concentrate the soul power of both of us on one person and then increase it. The soul skill has also become a single target skill, Blue Rain Overlord Spear. The lethality is greatly improved, but there is no toxicity. After this skill, our status will also be lifted. Lan Luoluo stuck out his tongue, and then said excitedly, Langya said with some envy, the attack you just made is difficult for even the Soul King to resist, and as your soul power increases, this attack will also become stronger. It should be regarded as a combination of soul skill fusion skills and ring fusion. Little guy, you are very lucky. Han Yu was silent. This situation should not be replicated, it should only happen to the 2 sisters. Boss, it's my turn. Give me a 10,000-year soul ring. Please. Yuan Gun was drooling as he watched. He kneeled down in front of Han Yu, hugged his thigh and shouted. Seeing him acting like a treasure, Han Yu said angrily, okay, you are indispensable. Elder Langya, let's find him for Gun. Langya nodded and then led the way. After a few moments, he stopped and reached forward to point to a low-lying area, where traces of the target were revealed. Suddenly, a huge earth greymon emerged from the land. Its eyes were ferocious, and the airflow around it fluctuated due to its powerful power. The characteristics of the subdragon species are most vividly reflected in its body. Its body is covered with hard scales, symbolizing its excellent defense. Earth Greymon. Yalong species. A soul beast with both strength and defense, its ultimate move is the Roaring Earth Bullet. The Earth attribute energy is condensed to form an Earth Dragon, and then an energy bomb is emitted from the Earth Dragon's mouth. This Earth Tyrannosaurus is about 15,000 years old, which is much older than the Lan family sisters, and he was still a subdragon. After controlling the sacrifice, Han Yu couldn't help but take a deep breath. Fortunately, this time the goal was finally achieved. Yuan Gun also successfully obtained the 3rd soul ring. Earth defense. Yuan Gun shouted low, and his entire body turned into a wall of flesh about 10 meters long, wrapped in a thick earthy yellow light. Is it done? Langya looked carefully and didn't see anything wrong. Yuan Gun chuckled, with a cunning look in his eyes. Elder Langya, try punching me. Hearing this, Langya showed a smile. Okay, then you have to withstand it. Although he is not a powerful main body martial soul, as the owner of the main body martial soul, his body is also extremely powerful. Drink. Soul power covers the fist, and this punch already has the power of soul sect level. Bang. The huge force hit the flesh wall, and a ripple appeared, and then in Langya's surprised eyes. The ground bounces back. Yuan Gun shouted lowly, and then Langya felt a force coming back through his arm. Is this a rebound? Yuan Gun transformed into a human again and said with a smile, my 3rd soul skill can increase my defense ability and flexibility by 200%, and reduce the damage received by 50%. Then my soul bone skill can store the damage received and blast it back to the attacker at once. But this kind of damage cannot exceed the limit of what I can bear, otherwise I will be injured. With my current strength, probably with the blessing of the 3rd soul skill, I can withstand about 5 full force attacks from the soul sect. It can absorb both physical attacks and energy attacks, but the inability to defend against mental power is a disadvantage. Langya rolled his eyes when he heard this. You kids should be content. Spiritual masters are already extremely rare. Excluding this factor, your soul skill is already very unsolvable, and it will be of great use in the future. He was so envious and jealous in his heart. His 3rd soul ring is still 1,000 years old. He felt like a lemon was picked in his heart, so sour. It's such a top-notch soul skill, but there is also a matching soul bone. It's really annoying to compare with others. Han Yu was speechless on the side. If this skill is used well, it can completely kill a lot of people. Since you have obtained soul rings, then this operation is a perfect success. Next, I will take you to Jingtian College. Prepare for the next Soul Master competition. Outyen and Princess Vina have already gone. Langya put his hands behind his back and walked towards the periphery with a few people. After absorbing the soul bones and soul rings, the soul power levels of the few people at this time are as follows: Yuan Gun, 2 yellow and 1 black soul rings, absorbing 3 soul bones, a total increase of about 5 levels of soul power, plus this 10,000-year soul ring, now has reached the peak of the 37th level of soul power. Lon Susu and Lon Luoluo, 2 yellow and 1 black soul rings, also absorbed 3 10,000-year soul bones, almost 37th level of soul power. Before this, their soul power was several levels lower than Yuan Gun. Then, with the effect of the Soul Ascension Pill and the mysterious Water Pill, it was raised to level 30. This made them extremely fortunate that they followed Han Yu to join the body sect. Otherwise, let alone whether they can reach this level of soul power now, 10,000-year soul rings, soul bones and other things are even more unthinkable. Although they all have 10,000-year soul bones, they are already satisfied. Don't underestimate the 10,000-year soul bones. The soul bones on them have surpassed most soul masters. In the general forces, such a configuration is definitely the next successor. Jingtian College is located in the northwest of Xingdou Great Forest, and the distance is quite close. A day or two later, Langya led everyone to Jingtian College. The city where Jingtian College is located is called Monyua City. The few people did not encounter much obstruction when entering the city. After all, the guards could tell from their appearance that they were either rich or noble, and not people that ordinary people could provoke. The guards had no intention of intercepting them, but just asked where Langya was going. We are going to Jingtian College. As soon as Langya finished speaking, the guards immediately understood that the people inside must be soul masters. They dared not provoke them. The few people slowly entered the city and stopped at the gate of Jingtian College. Jingtian College is far less magnificent than Shrek College, but it has a unique flavor. Although it is not as good as the 5 major Soul Master colleges, it is considered a first-class Soul Master college. Looking inside from the gate of Jingtian College, there are winding paths. Jingtian College is relatively quiet at the moment, and it seems that classes are still in session. Langya led everyone to the guard room and reached out to knock on the window. An old man who was drowsy in the room looked up and glanced at Langya and others, and immediately asked with full energy, "Senior, do you have something to do in Jingtian College?" That this guard is not a simple person, but a soul saint of more than 70 levels. The dean of Jingtian College saved him once, so he returned the favor and came to this college to be a guard, and also wanted to enjoy his old age here. As a soul saint, he has a mature vision and can tell at a glance that Han Yu and others are soul masters. Langya nodded. "Well, we are here to join Jingtian College. Please inform the dean." "Okay, senior, please wait a moment, I will go to inform." The dean should be teaching students in the college at this moment. The old man walked out of the guard room, looked at Langya, and saluted slightly respectfully. He could feel that Langya was very strong. He was already a soul saint, so for someone stronger than him, the result was self-evident. He hurried to the dean's office. He wanted to report the situation to the dean. After all, the person who came was not ordinary and must not be offended easily. The old security guard trotted all the way and quickly came to the dean's office. He knocked on the door and asked, "Dean, are you there? There is a group of people at the entrance of the college saying that they are here to join the college. I observed that they are all very strong." Soon, the door of the dean's office was opened, and it was not the dean who came out, but a woman with an innocent face, who asked with a smile, "Very strong?" "Mengdi, it's really strong, at least stronger than you." The old man said this deliberately. "Tsk, I don't believe it, you bad old man." The woman called Mengdi smiled delicately. "Mengdi, full name Yu Mengdi, martial soul angel, top martial soul." She also has her pride. Facing the old man's words that people from outside the college are stronger than her, she naturally doesn't believe it. Soon, the dean came out. He was a man in his 40s, with clear features and short hair. He looked sophisticated but seemed to have great wisdom. He smiled and said with a slightly hoarse voice, "Well, I guess the person Her Royal Highness the Princess mentioned is here. Let's go and greet him." Mengdi took the initiative to hold the arm of the security guard and said in a coquettish manner, "Old man, do you think we can win the championship in this all-continent high-level Soul Master Elite competition?" The old man who is the security guard, he never told anyone his last name, so everyone in Jingtian College called him Old Man, but this title is a respectful title, not a casual title. Please subscribe, please vote, thank you brothers, love you. Chapter 89 Bingdi, I, Tianmeng, am here for revenge. Please subscribe, please vote. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old security guard smiled and shook his head. It's difficult. Shrek Academy has been strong for 10,000 years. We can't defeat it. The few people chatted and laughed as they walked through the path paved with bluestone slabs. Dean Li Ming, with Yu Mengdi and the old security guard, arrived at the entrance of the academy. Li Ming was shocked when he saw Langya and Han Yu and others behind him. "Hello, senior. I am the dean of Jingtian Academy, Li Ming. Princess Vina has already told us. Please follow me." Li Ming is also a Soul Douluo level strongman, but his Soul Douluo is not good enough in front of Langya. "Then I'll trouble Dean Li Ming." Langya also politely replied, and then took Han Yu and others to follow Li Ming into Li Ming's office. All the way, Yu Mengdi was quietly looking at Han Yu, Yuan Gun Gun, and the Lan sisters. From her observation, Han Yu and the others looked young, but their spirit power was very close to that of a soul sect, which shocked her greatly and made her curious about where they came from, but the dean seemed to be very familiar with them. Li Ming said, "Everyone, I would like to ask you to show me your strength. Although it is a bit abrupt, it is still a necessary procedure. Gun Gun, you go first." Langya nodded to Yuan Gun Gun, indicating that Yuan Gun Gun should go first. Yuan Gun Gun, Spirit, Fat, Level 38 Strong Attack System War Soul Master. Yuan Gun Gun's body suddenly grew, and then expanded to about 2.5 meters. Lan Su Su, Lan Luo Luo, Spirit, Hair, Level 38 Control System War Soul Master. The blue hair of the Lan sisters fluttered, and instantly stretched several meters. Han Yu, Spirit, Sharingan, Level 38 Control System War Soul Master. The scarlet light flashed, and the dreamlike feeling made Yu Mengdi and Dean Li Ming feel a chill. "I don't need to say it, my name is Langya, Soul Douluo, Brain Martial Soul." Yu Mengdi, Li Ming was shocked beyond words. If you just look at the level, it can only be said to be average, but if you look at their age, martial soul, and the circle of black soul rings, you can feel that it is very abnormal. The body martial soul, the third 10,000-year soul ring. "You are from the body sect." Yu Mengdi couldn't help but blurt out, "Is this the body sect team coming to the academy?" She asked herself that she was still very talented. She could reach the Soul King level at the age of 16, but she didn't expect that there were more abnormal people. "Ahem. Mengdi, this matter needs to be kept secret." Li Ming reacted instantly. Before participating in the competition, it must not be known to outsiders. He knew the strength of these people in front of him better than Yu Mengdi. They looked like soul masters, but the people of the body sect are different from others. Cross-level battles are commonplace, especially when they are low-level soul masters, and now they are already level 38, and they can reach the soul master level in a few months. At that time, even if he faces the Soul King, he will not be inferior at all. "Yu Mengdi, your martial soul is an angel, right?" Han Yu looked at the girl in front of him with some curiosity, wondering what the relationship between him and the dean in front of him was. "Well, do you know me? I've heard others talk about you. Are you related to the dean?" Han Yu said with a hint of curiosity. "I was adopted by the dean and grew up in the academy. All my family members are gone. The dean said that they died from the Clear Sky Hammer martial soul." Yu Mengdi said with some self-mockery. The angel martial soul, sacred attribute, the nemesis of evil spirits, did not die from evil spirits, but died from the Clear Sky Hammer. Han Yu was shocked. It seems that the angel extinction plan is still continuing. Now there are only 2 or 3 kittens left, Dean Li Ming said at this time. Senior Langya, let Bingdi arrange accommodation for you. By the way, the student Long Outyen is here too, so let's arrange you together. Langya nodded, then I'll trouble this young friend. No trouble, Dean, I'll take the seniors and leave first. Yumingdi walked in front and led everyone to the dormitory area. Li Ming didn't say anything, but nodded with a smile, feeling deeply moved. Now that this team has joined the academy, the champion may be able to sit in the All-Continental Advanced Soul Master Elite competition in a few months. Yumingdi quickly brought Han Yu and others to a single-family villa, which was obviously the dormitory where Long Outyen lived. The 2-story duplex villa was just right for Han Yu and others. There was also a large balcony, which was just right for them to chat and drink tea during their rest time. In this way, Han Yu temporarily lived in Jingtian College. There was no need to go to class or anything like that, and he practiced on his own. During this period, Han Yu also found Long Outyen to fight constantly. Without using the Mangekyo Sharingan, the record was really hard to describe. Once Long Outyen used his full strength and activated the amplification of the Second Awakening, Han Yu would be defeated, but once the Mangekyo Sharingan was used, Long Outyen was defeated in an instant, and the two became extremes. This made Long Outyen more and more afraid of Han Yu's Sharingan, and even in normal conversations, he subconsciously avoided looking at the eyes that brought him nightmares. In addition to sparring with Long Outyen, he also sparred with Yumingdi, the angel martial spirit. Compared with Long Outyen, Yumingdi was easily controlled by him. Although the angel martial soul is powerful, it is only a top-level martial soul after all, not a god-level martial soul like the Seraphim. After being tortured to death by Han Yu, Yumingdi finally changed her target. Long Outyen and Han Yu couldn't beat them, so maybe she could beat Yuan Gungun and Lan Susu's sisters. As a result, she was defeated quickly. Yuan Gungun was able to beat her, but his disgusting abilities made her miserable. As for the Lan sisters, they both started together. After the increase of the second martial soul awakening and the connection of soul power, it was a 50-50 split. Let her know in her heart that these people are perverts. Time passed quickly during this discussion, during which Han Yu also met the other team members participating in the competition. The other two soul kings are Yi Qinggu and Tang Xiaolei of Golden Leaf Martial Soul. Han Yu didn't remember the names of the rest. They were all at the soul sect level, and their strength could only be described as average. This time the team members have been decided and the list is as follows: Captain, Long Outyen; Vice Captain, Yi Wuqing; Team members, Han Yu, Wei Na, Yumingdi, Tang Xiaolei, Yuan Gungun. The rest are substitutes. This combination is very reckless. Except for Wei Na, who is an auxiliary soul master, the others are either attack or control types. Just go up and do it, and after you get injured, Wei Na gives you treatment, focusing on violence. 4 months later, Han Yu took the lead in breaking through to level 40. At this time, there was a difficult problem before him, whether to find 100,000-year-old soul beast to seal, or to wait for the Snow Emperor. According to the Ice Emperor's opinion, she is to wait for the Snow Emperor. She said that the price-performance ratio of ordinary 100,000-year soul beasts is too low. It is better to wait until after the competition and return to the far north. Then she will be responsible for lobbying the Snow Emperor, but what she didn't know was that the Snow Emperor was no longer in the far north. Han Yu's own opinion is to wait a little longer. When the time comes, he can call the teacher and grab it directly, then just bear with it. It's nothing compared to Snow Emperor anyway. Now that his strength is stuck at level 40, he first obtains soul rings for Yuan Gungun and the Lan sisters. The one obtained this time is about 20,000 years old, so it is a bit uncertain in Johanyu. Soul beasts that are more than 30,000 years old are aiming at the Soul Emperor level. With the current strength, there may be problems in controlling the sacrifice, so be careful when using the 10,000-year ship. Besides, the 20,000-year soul ring is also very good. However, Han Yu told them not to absorb the soul bones they obtained this time. After all, their age was still too low. You don't know it the first time, but after you gain experience, you will definitely absorb higher knowledge. 4 months passed like this, and Shrek also took a vacation. With Huo Yuhao's persistent practice, he finally broke through to level 20. At this moment, he had arrived in the far north. The biting cold wind made his body shiver with cold. He couldn't help but pull down the hood on his head, hoping to withstand the cold wind. Brother Tianmeng, who is our target this time? Huo Yuhao rubbed his stiff face. You'll know it when you get there, and that's the beginning of your takeoff. Tianmeng Bingcan said with a mysterious face. Our primary target this time is the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion, which ranks second among the 3 kings of the far north. What? Huo Yuhao was shocked. Brother Tianmeng might have lost his mind and started dreaming during the day. After studying in Shrek Academy for so long, he still knew what the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion was like, beings comparable to human Super Douluo, with their small arms and legs. Aren't they just going up there to bring food? He couldn't help but complain to Tianmeng Bingsi. Okay, don't complain. This position is fine. You can take a rest and watch my performance. Hearing this, Huo Yuhao breathed a sigh of relief. It was too cold here. If he continued walking, he might freeze to death before he could get the second martial spirit, and the deeper you go, the more terrifying the strength of the soul beasts becomes. When you come here, you have already encountered several thousand-year level soul beasts. If it weren't for the Tianmeng ice silkworm's ability to mask its aura, maybe they would have become the feces of the soul beast. After resting for a quarter of an hour, after Tianmeng Bingcan settled Huo Yuhao, he started to take action. Mobilizing his original power, he finally formed a golden light man, who looked exactly like Huo Yuhao. Huo Yuhao, who was trembling with coldness, twitched the corner of his mouth and complained wildly in his heart. At this moment, an extremely huge spiritual power spread from Tianmeng ice silkworm's body, and in an instant, it had spread to a radius of hundreds of miles. Huo Yuhao clearly felt that this spiritual power was so huge that he couldn't help but feel an extreme desire for power. Ice Emperor, I know you are here, but do you dare to come out and fight? I, Tianmeng, am back for revenge. Ice King. Please subscribe, please vote, thank you brothers, I love you. Chapter 90 Huo Yuhao's Second Martial Spirit. Please subscribe, please vote. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Half an hour passed, but the expected response from Tianmeng Iceworm did not appear. The cold far north seemed to be silently mocking the clown in front of him, without giving him any response. What's going on? Is she not at home? Tianmeng Bingsi couldn't help but murmured. No, the Ice Emperor usually doesn't go out, and this place is the most suitable for her to practice. Could it be that she was killed by a human? This is impossible. Who else can kill the Ice Emperor? Tianmeng Bing's silkworm didn't know what to do for a while. Huo Yuhao on the side couldn't hold himself any longer, and trembled. Brother Tianmeng, are you okay? I can't bear it anymore, it's so cold. Forget it, my Bing, the first choice target is gone, I can only change it. Tianmeng Bing's silkworm gave up this idea. Yuhao, Bing may not be at home now, so we can only change our target. Don't worry, even if we find another one, she may not be as good as the Ice Emperor in terms of cultivation, but her potential will definitely be equal to hers. Soon, Tianmeng Bingcan led Huo Yuhao to a pig-like soul beast. Devil Pig King, I can tell at a glance that you are not going to survive the 200,000-year catastrophe. How about inviting you to join our god-making plan now? I'll tell you our plan. The Bingdi Demon Pig King looked at the Tianmeng Iceworm who was talking in front of him in confusion, and then finally chose to join after he showed the aura of a million-year-old soul beast. Sir Tianmeng, you are really wise in choosing me, old pig. It is fitting that we can become gods together. From now on, I, old pig, will hang out with you. Huo Yuhao. Although the image of the Ice Fang Demon Pig King in front of him is not good-looking, according to Tianmeng Ice Silkworm's introduction, it is truly the top spirit beast in the far north. It's not because of how high the cultivation level is, but because the potential of this soul beast is very strong. For other soul beasts, it may take 50,000 years to cultivate to 100,000 years, the kind that involves eating and cultivating. The Ice Fang Demon Pig only needs 30,000 years. The only regret is that it is not the ultimate ice, which makes Tianmeng Ice Silkworm extremely regretful. Then, after a few operations, the god-making plan was launched. Huo Yuhao also successfully obtained the second martial spirit. The Ice Fang Demon Pig King, looking at his blood-red 100,000-year-old soul ring, Huo Yuhao couldn't help but grin. I finally gained strength. Han Yu, why do you compare me with others? I, Huo Yuhao, will return everything you gave me. This time he not only obtained a top-level attack-type martial spirit, but also 200,000-year-old soul skills, and a torso soul bone, soul skills, gluttonous eater, pig rush. Soul bone skills, forced absorption, huge stomach bag. Seeing the effect of that soul skill, Huo Yuhao couldn't help but tremble all over. With this skill, I, Huo Yuhao, will eventually be invincible in the world, and my cultivation speed will no longer be a constraint on me. Just when Huo Yuhao was proud, the sea of consciousness has exploded. You Tianmeng ice worm, how dare you lie to me, an old pig. It turns out that you are just a silver gun and candle head. It's a shame that you have millions of years of cultivation. Bah! You still dare me to call you my lord, come here and lick my hooves clean, or I'll beat you to death. After the Bingdi demon pig king discovered that Tianmeng Bingsi was just a show of cultivation, he found that he had been deceived. I'm so angry that this million-year-old little bug can't even defeat me. I really don't know how it achieved such a level of cultivation. If Brother Pig had been 1,000,000 years old, he would have become a god long ago. Demon Pig King, don't bully others too much. Don't forget that we are on the same team now. Don't look down to see you, look up to see me, keep a line in your work so that we can meet again in the future. Tianmeng Bingcan looked unhappy, looking at the Demon Pig King who was dictating to him with a look of resentment. Call me Brother Pig. Also, I'm the one talking now. You can only be my little brother. You can do whatever I ask you to do. If you dare to resist, Having said this, the fangs in the Demon Pig King's mouth flashed with a cold light, full of threats. Yuhao, please come and judge me. This pig is completely inhumane. It's going too far to bully silkworms. Brother Tianmeng, Demon Pig King, what's wrong with you? As soon as Huo Yuhao appeared, he looked at Tianmeng Bingcan, who had a somewhat aggrieved face, with a confused look on his face. After Tianmeng's explanation, Huo Yuhao couldn't laugh or cry. Devil Pig King, we will be partners from now on. How about we be more harmonious? Yuhao boy, for your sake, I won't care about this bug. Besides, I have a name. My name is Zhu Gengqiang. You can call me Brother Zhu, Brother Gang, or Brother Chang. Okay, I'm going to bed. Don't bother me if you have nothing to do. Huo Yuhao quickly rose to prominence after returning to Shrek Academy. With the power of the Ice-Toothed Demon Pig King, he was quickly selected into the Shrek 7 Monsters reserve team. What's more, what's amazing is that he and Wang Dong actually developed a new martial soul fusion skill, Soul Fighting Area, Soul Fighting Platform. Dai Huabin, you lose. Huo Yuhao slowly pulled out the fangs in his mouth from Dai Huabin's body, and looked at the enemy in front of him with a gloomy look, his eyes showing a trace of the joy of having a great revenge. As the fangs were pulled out, a trace of soul power poured into Huo Yuhao's body along the fangs. Finally level 30. Huo Yuhao returned to the dormitory with a flash of joy in his heart. How's it going, boy Yuhao? Is this soul skill useful? Much more powerful than that useless bug. Tianmeng Bingcan looked angry. Okay, stop arguing. Are you tired of arguing all day long? Brother Tianmeng, please stop saying a few words. Huo Yuhao's entire body was extremely cold at this time, filled with a cold aura. Tianmeng was shocked and said, Yuhao, are you okay? Huo Yuhao sneered, Tianmeng, I'm very good. I'm better than ever. It's all thanks to Brother Zhu's soul skill. Otherwise, it would take me a lot of time to reach level 30. Besides, the next Soul Master competition will definitely give me more soul power. Ha 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 ha. Brother Zhu, what's wrong with Yuhao? Could it be that he absorbed too much soul power, causing his personality to change drastically? Tianmeng was very aggrieved by the words Brother Pig, but in order for Huo Yuhao to become a god, he had to bend and stretch. After all, this skill belonged to the Ice-Toothed Demon Pig King, he should know best. The Ice-Toothed Demonic Pig King nodded solemnly. although my gluttony skill can improve itself by absorbing other people's soul power, during the absorption process, it will be mixed with other people's negative emotions. If it does not settle over time. If you don't exercise restraint, I'm afraid you will end up wrapped in negative emotions and lose your humanity. It's best not to continue absorbing soul power and let it settle for a while, otherwise the consequences will be unpredictable. Having said this, the Ice-Tooth Demon Pig King didn't care about anything else and immediately pulled Huo Yuhao into the sea of consciousness and explained the pros and cons. Huo Yuhao was silent for a moment and then said, "I understand, I will restrain myself first." Moments before the competition, the air was filled with tension and excitement. Han Yu, Long Outyen and the others put on their flying soul guides and prepared to set off for the glorious capital of the Star Luo Empire, Star Luo City. It was getting late, and the orange-red sunset reflected on their determined faces. Langya, as the leader of the team, was equipped with a flying soul guide behind him, like a meteor, piercing the sky, leading the way in the night. The coming sky, Han Yu and other team members followed closely behind. Although the flying soul guides they were equipped with were not as dazzling as Langya's, they still shone with a reassuring sheen. Although the Numenon sect has reservations about the use of soul guides, at this moment, their reliance on the magical tool of flying soul guides is obvious. In fact, auxiliary soul guides such as storage soul guides and flying soul guides are quite valuable in the eyes of the Numenon sect. These soul tools were obtained from the Heavenly Soul Empire through some means. Although the quality was not satisfactory, they were already considered rare and valuable assets in this backward Douluo continent. Traveling between the night and the stars, they are like a group of warriors crossing the night sky, heading towards their dreams and glory. Since they set off relatively early, there were still a few days before the start of the competition. Han Yu also took advantage of this time to take a good tour of Xingluo City. Star Luo City is indeed the capital of the Star Luo Empire. The city wall is 100 meters high and a terrifying 100 meters thick. It is completely made of hard rock. The entire Xingluo City has the title of never falling to the imperial capital. It was a powerful country 10,000 years ago. 10,000 years later, although the Sun and Moon Empire came across the sea, its overall strength is still very strong. Of the four countries, not to mention the Doling Empire, the land does not directly border the Sun and Moon Empire, so there are mostly people in the empire who are greedy for pleasure. It is the worst among the four countries. As for the Star Luo Empire, the whole country is very martial, and the emperor of this generation, Su Jiawei, is also working hard to govern, so it looks very powerful on the surface, but it is a pity that he was born at the wrong time. As for the Tianhun Empire, it is inferior to the Star Luo Empire in terms of national strength, but in terms of top combat power, with the support of the poisonous death, it is considered the most powerful among the Douluo Three Kingdoms. Han Yu secretly sighed in his heart. He joined the Numenon sect, so where should he stand in the future? He doesn't care about the war, and he has no control over who becomes the emperor, but he can still be poisoned to death. If possible, he still hopes to change the tragedy. Later, Du Bushu assassinated Su Tianran, and finally self-destructed, and the entire Numenon sect was also killed and injured, and its vitality was severely damaged, which was almost the same as the annihilation of the sect. Since I am the young master of the Numenon sect, I definitely cannot let this happen again. My current strength is still not strong enough. Fortunately, there is still time. It is still early before the full-scale war breaks out. This period of time is enough for me to develop. At this time, Star Luo City was already bustling with people. Participating colleges could be seen everywhere, and students wearing different uniforms appeared on the streets of Star Luo City. I don't know what's going on in Shrek Academy now. Please subscribe, please vote. Thank you brothers, I love you.